Have you ever felt like you're talking, but no one's really listening? Like you're in a room full of people, yet completely invisible? You have decades of experience, a lifetime of stories, and wisdom that should be valued. But sometimes it feels like you're just overlooked. It's easy to blame ageism, and yes, that's a real factor in our society. But here's a challenging truth. You might unknowingly be contributing to this invisibility yourself. Not because of who you are, or your inherent value. Instead, it's often due to subtle, subconscious signals you might be sending. These aren't about your essence or your journey, they're external cues, things like your voice, the words you choose, or even how you hold yourself. The good news, these are things you absolutely can change. You have more control than you might think. We're going to explore 5 specific psychological reasons why people might stop noticing seniors after 65. Reason 1, the low energy/low volume signal. Sometimes, without even realizing it, our voice or how quickly we respond sends a subtle signal. This signal can unconsciously tell others, it might be hard work to talk to me. This isn't about your intelligence or your wisdom, it's about how other people's brains quickly process cues in conversation. If your voice is too soft, or you take a moment too long to reply, it can make them unconsciously back away. This is one of the quickest ways to become overlooked in a conversation, and for your valuable insights to be missed. Our brains are wired for efficiency. They use mental shortcuts, often called schemas, to understand the world around us. When someone speaks softly or responds slowly, a slow schema gets triggered. This shortcut tells the other person's brain this interaction might require extra effort, and naturally our brains try to avoid extra effort whenever possible. It's not personal at all, it's a primal brain response, trying to conserve energy. This leads to what we call emotional avoidance. People unconsciously disengage. Consider Lisa. She was at her grandson's graduation party, eager to share a story about her own career struggles and triumphs. But her voice was soft, and she'd often pause, searching for the right words. As she spoke, her grandson kept glancing at his phone. Her daughter-in-law eventually jumped in. "Oh, that's interesting, Mom, but did you see what Mark posted on Facebook?" Lisa felt her story, her accumulated wisdom, just evaporated into the air. She felt dismissed, like her thoughts weren't important enough to hold anyone's attention. But you can absolutely change this dynamic. The first step is to simply project your voice more. Think of speaking from your diaphragm, not just your throat. Imagine your voice needs to fill the entire room, even if you're just talking one-on-one. This isn't about shouting, but about carrying your words with clear intention and strength. When you do this, people automatically lean in. Their attention sharpens. They hear every word, and suddenly, your insights have undeniable weight. Another powerful tool is using what we call bridging pauses. Instead of leaving silent gaps, which can signal disinterest or a struggle to recall, use short verbal bridges. Say something like, "That's a really interesting point," or "Let me just gather my thoughts on that for a second." This keeps the conversation flowing and shows you're engaged, even as you formulate your response. The interaction feels smooth, and you remain a vital and active part of the exchange, making others feel more comfortable and connected. Finally, enhance your physical presence. Sit or stand tall. Make direct, confident eye contact. Turn your body towards the person speaking, showing you are fully present and attentive. These small actions signal alertness and confidence, not just to them, but to yourself. Others will mirror your engagement, creating a more dynamic and respectful interaction. You'll feel more confident, and your presence will be undeniable. Making these shifts in your voice and presence is incredibly powerful, but our visibility also depends on how we connect with the rapidly changing world around us. Reason 2, the cultural/linguistic exclusion. Have you ever felt like you're speaking a completely different language? You try to join a conversation, but the words, the references, they just don't click. It's more than just missing a pop culture reference. It's a feeling of being an outsider, even in your own family or community. Our brains are incredibly efficient at categorizing. When we encounter someone who doesn't share common cultural touchstones or language, our minds unconsciously label them as other or part of an outgroup. This isn't a judgment of worth. It's a mental shortcut that creates an immediate, subtle distance. The result? You're seen as less relatable, less approachable, and conversations naturally drift away. Take Emily, a retired librarian who cherished her weekly coffee catch-ups. Lately, her younger friends would talk about TikTok trends or spill the tea about local happenings. Emily, trying her best, would sometimes ask, "What's spill the tea?" The explanations were always polite, but she noticed the energy drain from the conversation. Soon, they'd turn to each other, leaving Emily feeling politely excluded, a silent observer in a world she barely recognized. The awkward silence after her questions felt like a growing wall between them. But you can absolutely bridge these gaps. First, become a curious observer. Dedicate just 15 minutes each month to explore what's new. Look up a popular slang term, or browse a trending social media topic. You don't have to adopt it, just understand it. Next, try technology bridging. Instead of just using your devices, master one app that genuinely matters to younger generations. Maybe it's a photo editing app, or a video call platform. Then, use it to share your own stories, perhaps by digitizing old photos or explaining a historical event through a short video. Finally, embrace the role of a translator. When a new term comes up, instead of asking for a definition, try to connect it to something familiar. Say, oh, is ghosting like when people used to just stop returning calls? This shows engagement and helps others see the connections. When you do this, you'll feel more connected and current. Others will genuinely see you as a bridge between generations, not a barrier. The conversations will flow more naturally, and you'll be seen as an engaging, vibrant individual. But communication isn't just about the words we use or understand. Often, our bodies speak volumes before we even open our mouths. Reason 3, the closed-off body language barrier. Sometimes, without even realizing it, our body language can put up invisible walls. Crossing your arms, avoiding eye contact, or turning slightly away from a group sends a clear message. It signals disinterest, or that you're simply unavailable for connection. This isn't just about politeness. It's how our brains process social cues. When someone unconsciously sees these closed-off signals, their brain takes a mental shortcut. It registers that engaging with you might require more effort than it's worth. This can make people subtly, almost instinctively, decide not to approach or interact. But you can change this narrative immediately. Start by consciously adopting an open stance. Uncross your arms, let your hands rest naturally, and subtly point your feet toward the person or group you're engaging with. This simple shift signals approachability and a willingness to connect. Next, practice holding eye contact a little longer than you might usually. Not staring, but a comfortable, sustained gaze. This shows you are present, attentive, and confident, making others feel truly acknowledged. Finally, instead of waiting to be drawn in, actively move yourself closer to the center of activity. If people are gathered, take a step or two towards them. This small physical commitment demonstrates your engagement and invites participation, effortlessly drawing you into the flow of conversation. You'll feel a renewed sense of belonging and connection, knowing you've opened the door for others to truly see you. Beyond what your body says without words, what about the stories you tell? Beyond how you speak or how you move your body, there's a subtle trap many of us fall into. It's called the repetitive narrative loop. This happens when we rely on a small handful of safe stories. Perhaps they are from your work days or achievements from decades ago. While these stories are valuable, repeating them can make interactions feel predictable. It can cause others to disengage, even unintentionally. Our brains are wired for novelty and connection. When a conversation becomes too familiar, the brain starts to tune out. It subconsciously flags the interaction as uninteresting or effortful to maintain engagement. This isn't a judgment against your past. It's a natural human response to a lack of new information or shared present experience. This creates a barrier, making it harder for others to truly connect with you in the moment. The good news is, you can easily break this loop. One powerful way is to cultivate a 3-part story bank. First, include those wonderful historical or wisdom-based stories. These offer valuable perspective. Next, add current observations or opinions. What are you thinking about today? What's new in your world? Finally, don't shy away from sharing recent learning experiences or even minor failures. This shows growth and vulnerability, avoiding the trap of a perfect past. This variety keeps conversations fresh and engaging, making you far more relatable. Another key is to pivot your focus. Instead of mentally preparing your next story, practice the active listener pivot. Truly listen to what others are saying. Then ask follow-up questions that show genuine curiosity. This shifts the spotlight, making the other person feel heard and valued. It transforms the interaction into a true exchange. And don't forget to share what you're actively doing now. Talk about your current hobbies, new interests, or recent discoveries. Showcasing your engagement with the present world proves you're evolving and vibrant. It invites others to share their own current passions. These simple shifts make you an active participant in the present, not just a keeper of the past. Breaking the repetitive narrative loop opens up new avenues for connection. But true connection also requires a certain level of openness. Sometimes, we unconsciously hold back, believing it protects us. Reason 5, information withholding tactic. It's natural to want to appear strong and capable. But sometimes, this desire leads us to hide our struggles or questions. This habit of information withholding can actually create distance. You might worry that showing vulnerability makes you seem frail. Instead, it makes others uncomfortable and causes them to pull away. When you constantly present a perfect, unblemished front, others sense a barrier. Their brains interpret this lack of openness as a signal of distrust. They might unconsciously feel they can't truly connect with you. This emotional gap makes interactions feel less genuine and more superficial. Instead, try practicing selective transparency. This means choosing specific moments to share a challenge or ask for help. Frame it as a collaborative effort. I'm working on X and I'd really value your perspective on Y. This invites connection and shows you value their insights. Another powerful step is proactive check-ins. Share a small vulnerability before it becomes a big issue. For instance, I'm finding this new software a bit tricky to navigate. Has anyone else had this experience? This frames the struggle as a shared learning opportunity, not a personal weakness. Also, don't shy away from sharing your active struggles in learning or physical activities. Saying, I'm really trying to master this new dance move, it's tougher than I thought, makes you incredibly relatable. It shows you are engaged with life and open to growth, fostering genuine connection. Each of these approaches transforms potential barriers into bridges. They help manage perceptions of frailty and build stronger, more authentic relationships. We've now explored 5 key cues that can make you feel invisible. It's time to bring all these pieces together and see how they empower you. So here's your immediate challenge. Right now, think of just one of these 5 cues we discussed today. Maybe it's projecting your voice a little more, or trying to learn one new piece of contemporary slang. Just pick one and commit to trying it out in your very next conversation. And if you found this video empowering and useful, please hit that subscribe button. Join our community as we continue to explore ways to live a recognized, influential, and truly independent life.